guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my matcha milkshake ready, and I am going to be planning for the month of February 2019 here in my bullet journal. So to start off, I really wanted to do a Valentine's Day theme. This is something that was inspired by Amanda Rach Lee. She did this I think it was 2 years ago that she did something like this, and I have loved it ever since, but I saw it sometime after Valentine's Day, and I can't recall what I did last year. But in any event, what I did was I started off by doing red and pink hearts, kind of in a loose circle shape, and I used my Pentel sign pen as well as my Friction color sticks. I did red and pink hearts, and then I brought out this circle stencil that I have with different size circles, and I tried to make several rings that went around the hearts but didn't go over the hearts, so it kind of looked like the hearts were on a string and that string is going round and round, so kind of like a heart confetti, if you will. So I did this by moving the circle stencil around, and I just did that over and over, making sure not to draw over any hearts, and I did that until I was satisfied with the way that it looked. After I was done drawing all of my circles, I grabbed my red Pentel sign pen one last time, or another time, and I wrote in February in the inside of this circle. Next, I'm going in here on the opposite page with my extra fine TWSBI fountain pen, and I'm using that to draw out my monthly overview. This month I'm using the more conventional or traditional monthly setup for a bullet journal. I'm writing the dates, all the dates from 1 through 28 for February, and then right next to the date I'm writing the day of the week that corresponds to that specific date. Now I'm jumping over to the left-hand side. I wanted to write some monthly overviews here on the left, so I'm drawing 3 boxes on the left-hand column and 1 long box on the right-hand column. Going back in with the red Pentel sign pen again, and I'm just going to label all of these boxes. The right hand column I labeled goals for February. I'm also making little heart accents with the pink Friction color stick, and then I'm going in to write books for the top column, where I'm going to write down what books I'm reading this month. Next is Netflix and things that I'm watching on Netflix, and finally I have podcasts on the bottom so that I can document the podcasts that I'm listening to this month. I couldn't help myself, I just had to go back in and do some additional hearts next to each of these titles. To finish up this page, I am writing February on top of the calendar. I'm just writing it in longhand or fully expanded rather than the Feb that I have on the left-hand side. And then I tried to do some shadowing. It didn't come out very dark and it definitely doesn't pick up on camera, but I put in some pink shadows for that red word, and it may or may not have worked out. You let me know what you think. In order to put just some accent touches and also to kind of break up the week or the monthly list, I'm using pink and red to denote when the start of a new work week is throughout the month, and that kind of helps break up that large space in the page. Next, I started working on my task list, and then my camera just shut down for a moment and I wasn't aware that it had done that. So I noticed that it was off when I was at this point of doing my task list. So I turned it back on again and I was able to catch my habit tracker. So I'm doing the same thing with the habit tracker. I am going across the top with the days and dates for February, and then I'm alternating between the red and the pink pen to separate each week within that month. I'm adding a little bit more decorations, some hearts on the right hand side, and I'm also adding these bars on the far right because this is going to be a task list for the month, and I wanted to kind of divide up things that could be done at any point in the month, that would be on top, and things that have to be done the first week versus the second week versus the third week. So that first slash down the side is for things that are due or have to be done on week 2 of February, and then the third week of February, and last the fourth week of February. Now I'm going in and adding some decorations to this page. I am alternating between red and pink hearts, and I'm also going to mislabel this as tasks rather than habits, but hey, it is just part of the charm of being a bullet journalist. I am also going to be using the same stencil that I did at the beginning or for my cover page. I'm using it right now just to link up these hearts, so I have kind of a loose chain of hearts, and then I'm going to go in and add some additional circles with no rhyme or reason, just trying to get the theme to carry over from the last page to this page. Once I was satisfied with how the gray and black circles were looking at the very top of this page, I grabbed my pink and red pen again and I started to add additional hearts just to add a little bit more of a decorative element to the top. I went in with my white correction tape as well and just corrected some smudging that I had. It's just part of the problems of being a lefty and enjoying really inky pens. So I corrected that, and then I corrected some of the smudging on hearts by using a white pen. Back here I have this kind of guide. If I want to divide my page into different sections, I have it in the back of my book, and then it helps guide me. I know how many boxes I need to divide a page into, say, 4 sections or 5 sections or anything of that matter. And it also reminds me how many boxes there are across and how many boxes there are down or vertically, so that I can plan out my separations when I'm trying to box out a certain amount of boxes or divide the page into a certain number of sections. In this case, I'm trying to do 7 sections on the far left-hand corner so that I have small boxes for every day of the week. I thought I would try this drop shadow again. I used the lighter pink to begin with, and then I went over the same section with a darker pen, and I tried to move the strokes over just to the right of the initial strokes to see if I could get kind of a shadow effect. I'm not sure how it turned out. I don't think you could really see the shadows, but it's still a work in progress for me. Next, I went in and filled out all the dates and days of the week for the first week of February. Next, I'm going in and setting up my priorities for my task list. So I'm going to try to do the Alistair method of documenting all of my tasks, and I'm going to classify them by priority, so that's why I put 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finally I just wrote Monday for Monday the 28th of January, and that is the first day that I will be using this layout. And that's about it for this month, guys. It was a quick and easy setup, kind of decreasing the amount of pages that I have for the monthly setup, and looking forward to going into the next month. I finished my matcha shake, and until next time, guys, I hope this video brought you some utility and joy.